Hi everyone, I'm back. It has been a while. It's only February, but it feels like there's been so much gone on already this year with everything. So I thought I'd fill you in quickly on everything that's been happening, why I haven't been here, why I haven't been filming, and then tell you about the new dress design that I'm going to start working on very soon. Welcome to everyone who's joined me here recently. I've had loads of new subscribers, so thank you for joining me. Thanks for your patience while I haven't been making sewing videos, but I'm back and I'm going to start sewing again soon. So thanks for joining us. Alright, so where have I been? So let's go back to last December when all those terrible bushfires here in Australia were getting worse and worse and worse. The air quality here in Canberra was just appalling. And I was struggling really badly with my health. I'm asthmatic, I'm prone to lung things, so having that poor air quality, I was really struggling and it was affecting my asthma. So I made the decision to go to France for a month to see my mum. I know I'm lucky that I had somewhere to go. There's a lot of people who were struggling who couldn't escape, so I'm very thankful that I had the means and the place to go to get away from it for a while. It was school holidays, so I took my daughter with me. So just after Christmas, we packed up, we got on a plane and we flew over to France and we stayed with my mum for a month. Then we spent 4 days at Disney. I took my daughter to Disney for 4 days, which was just magical. And it was so nice to have that time to spend with just the two of us. I really enjoyed that time with her. It's a real special moment. She's getting older, she's nearly 10. And I just keep thinking that it probably won't be long till she won't want to do things with her mum. She'll be off with her friends doing things. So it was really nice to have that time together. And we stayed in a little apartment and spent, 4 days at Disney, just having a glorious time. And I vlogged that, so if you're interested, you can go and watch those videos. So then at the end of January, we flew back to Australia from Paris. As we were on our way home, I think it was when we had a stopover in Abu Dhabi. So while we were in Abu Dhabi, I checked, logged onto the airport Wi-Fi, checked Facebook, and there was a fire started in Canberra and the airport was shut. So I then spent the next 14 hours on a flight, not knowing whether I'd be able to get back to Canberra once we got to Sydney or whether my husband was going to come up to Sydney and get us. Thankfully, by the time we landed in Sydney, so 14 hours after, it was a 14-hour flight, it was a long flight, that fire was under control, the airport was open, so we managed to get home okay. Made it home, just exhausted but happy to be home. Things at that point, the air quality was looking up a little bit. So that was on the Friday. Then on the Monday, another fire started near here, to the south of Canberra in Namadgi National Park. We live in the south of Canberra and it was touch and go for a long time. So the fire quickly spread, it was out of control. The weekend afterwards, I think it was the weekend after, they declared a state of emergency. We were packed, like probably half of Canberra. We had everything packed and ready to evacuate should it come to that. It was, I think the fire came within maybe 8 kilometres of the southernmost houses of Canberra. You could see it from the hills, you could see the smoke everywhere you went. It was a frightening time. I've never been that close to a fire before. I've never had the threat of a fire like that before. So yeah, I found it really hard. My anxiety was just up here all the time. So we had evacuation plans for us, for the cats. I packed all of our important paperwork. And then my most important thing I had packed was my sewing machine because, it's pretty special to me. That's probably my most sentimental thing. So that was all packed, ready to go should we needed to. Thankfully, our emergency services here, our commissioner, she is amazing. We were getting daily updates on Facebook, in fact, like 2 or 3 times a day to let us know exactly what was going on, how they were dealing with it. There was planes and helicopters flying low over our house constantly, day and night, as they were bombing it with fire retardant, keeping an eye on it, seeing how it grew. And they managed to put in some huge containment lines and they stopped it reaching Canberra. And thank you to everybody in the emergency services and the volunteers who worked to keep us safe. It's just, I don't know how you do it. You're incredible, absolutely incredible. So thank you to everyone Australia wide who's given their time or done their job to keep us safe from the fires. And some people did lose their houses south of Canberra. It went across the highway. There was roads closed. Then rain started. So rain was forecast. We were so excited. Rain was forecast and the rain started and it didn't stop. I forgot to mention, during the time when I was in France, when all the smoke was going on, we also had an insane hailstorm here with hailstones that were like this. There are areas of Canberra that are just, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars that were damaged, just waiting for the insurance companies to come and assess them. So yeah, so that happened while the fires were still going. So now, like after the fire, we've got rain. So the rain started and it was just torrential. So we went from the threat of fires to floods, and my studio sprung a leak. So my studio flooded. So within, I think it was in the space of 5 days, I'd gone from being packed, ready to evacuate in case the fires came any closer, in case we burnt, to mopping up water in the studio. It was just bonkers. It wasn't too bad. It came in mainly along the back, behind my desk here, along the back wall. It came in through the front of the garage somehow. My husband thinks he's fixed it, thankfully. A lot of fabric got wet, a lot of stuff got wet, so I had a bit of a while drying everything out. So yeah, it's just been bonkers, and it's only February. So we've had, yeah, smoke, we've had fires, we've had hail, and then we've had floods and crazy rain. And again, I got off lightly. There's places in Australia that are just completely flooded. There's people who've lost everything. Same with the fires, and as much as it's made me anxious, there's a lot of people in a far, far worse situation. So it's been insane, absolutely insane. It's, yeah, crazy ride. But things finally seem to have settled back down to normal. We've got beautiful clean air. It's been raining on and off, but it's enough rain to keep the garden nice, but not to drown us. So that's a bonus. So it's still warm and it feels like we can actually get outside and enjoy some of summer now. So really happy the weather's settled down. Let's hope it stays this way. So on top of that, I've also been dealing with the knock-on effects of coronavirus. So obviously you've heard about coronavirus, about how everything's shut down. I order a lot of my fabrics from China. So I've got parcels over there that still haven't been sent, that I ordered weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I'm working on a wedding dress for a client at the minute, and we've had to change the fabric we're using because her fabric is stuck in China. I ordered it, oh my god, I ordered it last year. It arrived, it was flawed. They sent me replacement. They sent me completely the wrong thing. Like, I ordered 9 meters of the colour that I needed. I got 3 meters of pink. It wasn't even close to what it should have been. So by the time that finally turned up, that took like 6 weeks or something ridiculous to arrive, and they kept just saying, oh, just wait, it'll be there, it'll be there. So by the time it arrived and I opened it, it was the wrong thing. They were already on Chinese New Year holiday and weren't replying to my messages. And then because of coronavirus, the shipping's just been delayed, and we reached a point where we just had to start work on this dress. So my poor clients had to compromise. I've had to use something I already had at the studio, which is, it still looks really pretty, it's really gorgeous, but it's not what she wanted. So I actually found the same fabric that I needed from 2 more places, and I ordered that, and again, it's neither of them could ship it. So I actually received a refund from one of them yesterday apologising, and they still don't know when shipping's going to start again. But it means that I can't order anything else that I need at the minute. I use AliExpress, I use Etsy, but most of it ships from China. And I guess the knock-on effect from there is going to be that places like Spotlight and Lincraft and our other fabric stores, they're still shipping their fabrics in from China, so supplies are going to dwindle if this goes on too much longer. So yeah, so sort of hearing the news about how the lack of shipping is affecting big businesses, like Apple have spoken about their sort of supply dwindling and how they're not going to get stocks in. But it's affecting little businesses like me as well, and it's hard. It's really hard. So I really hope everything's under control and back to normal soon. So that's been an added stress on top of all the fire, flood, and hail stuff on top of everything. I've been dealing with that too. I've also started teaching again at CIT on the fashion diploma in Cert 3. I'm just doing casual hours. I've done a couple of classes and I'm not back there till April. I'm working with the day students and the night students. I'm teaching the same subject to both of them. So that took up a lot of my time preparing for that and getting ready and teaching. But now, like I say, I'm not back till April. So that's done. I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. And I've also started studying at CIT. So I'm in as a casual teacher there at the minute, but I do need a qualification to be able to stay there as a teacher. So last Wednesday I started studying for my Cert 4 in training and assessment. So on top of, sewing orders, teaching, and now studying as well, life just got super hectic, and mopping up water and packing for fires. And it's been bonkers since I got back from France. It's just been absolutely flat out. But my orders, I've had some collected this week. The wedding dress, the one with the one where we had to change the fabric, that's coming along really nicely. It's coming together, so that should be finished within the next week or so. So I've started turning my thoughts back to videos and what dresses I can make for videos. Now, if you remember last year, I went to France last July. I made a series of vlogs while I was there. And when I got back, I said I really wanted to make a series of dresses inspired by my trip to France. So there will be dresses inspired by some of the chateaus that I visited, some of these places that are really dear to me. And Azé, Laredo, which I made a vlog on while I was in France in January as well. That's another chateau that I absolutely adore. And I've got lots of ideas of dresses that I could make inspired by these chateaus. But before I do that, I've been thinking and planning in my head for ages, and I've actually got some fabric as well. Thankfully, because I can't order it from China at the minute. So I've got some fabric here, and my first dress in my French inspired series is going to be inspired by the sunset from my mum's house, because that's one of my favourite things over there. And when I'm not there, my mum puts lots of pictures on Facebook, which just makes me wish I was sat in her garden watching it with her. So my first dress is going to be sunset in France. My mum's house is on the top of a hill. It overlooks this beautiful valley and it faces towards where the sun sets. So she gets to see the most beautiful panoramic sunsets from her house. And I'm inspired not just by the sunsets and the colours themselves, but also by her garden in front of it. So I love a lot of the pictures she posts are through the trees or with corn or with flowers at the edge of her garden, silhouetted against the beautiful sunset colours. So I've used that idea in my design as well. So it's going to be a mixture of the sunset and the sunset colours and the silhouetted leaves and flowers in my mum's garden. So this is my design for my sunset in France dress. So it's going to be a corseted ball gown shaped dress, which I'll put over a full hoop petticoat. Then I'm going to airbrush my sunset colours onto the dress itself. So it's going to start from the night sky at the top. So this will be dark blue, and then it will fade down into purples and blues and pinks, then down to oranges and yellows at the bottom. So it's kind of an amalgamation of lots of the sunset pictures, taking the colour and putting them into one. And then I've got these two beautiful pieces of lace which have got 3D flowers on them. So you can see these are very 3D with the leaves, and the same with this piece as well. And then you've got lovely leaf pieces in here. So I'm going to cut these out and then applique them onto the dress to be the flowers silhouetted in my mum's garden. I'm going to put a scattering of clear Swarovski crystals on the top of the dress to be the stars in the sky that come out when the sun's just setting. I'm going to add little straps onto the dress made from the flowers, and maybe some little beads. I've got some little black beads. I might use them to make some little drapes around the arms, and I might do a necklace made from the flowers and beads as well. I'm going to add some black crystals through the flowers as well, just to add some more sparkle. This one's already got some nice beads on it. Look at these little flowers. God, they're so cute. It's going to look amazing. So I bought both of these pieces off AliExpress last year. I think they're both sold out, so unfortunately I can't link to where I bought them. I got the last, definitely got the last metre of this because I wanted 2 metres of it and that was all that was left. And I think this one was discontinued, or they ran out just after I bought it. But if you search for black floral lace on AliExpress or on Etsy, you should be able to find something similar. This is my design. I'm not entirely sure what fabric I'm going to use for the dress just yet. I need to do, because I haven't done a lot of airbrushing, I'm not entirely sure what finish I want with it. So I'm going to buy a few pieces of white fabric and airbrush them and see which one has the nicest finish. I used cotton drill, I think it was, when I did the bottom of the Halloween gown, and that was just too stiff. So it was soft before I painted it, but it got too stiff once I got all the paint and the crystals on it. So I won't use that again, even though I love the Halloween gown. Yeah, I wouldn't use that fabric again. So I'm thinking maybe a soft polyester or maybe a cotton with a bit of a sheen to it. I don't think I want super shiny satin. I think it needs to be not too shiny. I think it wants to be more of a matte finish. So I'll pop the spotlight and buy a few bits of fabric and we'll do some experiments and see what's going to work. I've got loads of paint here. I've got my airbrush. And hopefully it will turn out as good as it is in my head. So that's it. That's my design. That's my idea. Let me know what you think of it. I'm really excited to get started on it. And I'm going to do this series like I did the candy cane dress during Vlogmas. So I'm going to upload each day as I'm working on the dress. I probably won't be able to start it till the middle or the end of next week because I've got to get this wedding dress finished first. But I'll upload each day as I'm working on it and give you as much detail as I can about making the pattern, about how I construct it, how I airbrush it as well, so you can follow along really closely. So I got some really good feedback that people liked that sort of daily update as I was working on a dress from Vlogmas. So yeah, so I'll do that again this time and we'll see how it goes. So hopefully by this time next week I'll be back with the next part of this dress series and show you how I'm going to get started and what I'm going to do first. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this design. Let me know any other videos you want to see. Don't forget that I've got a Facebook group as well. The link's in the description. So if you want to come over there and share your work or ask any questions there, please come and join us. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.